Hello, thank you for meeting with us. We are Team 18, and today we will be presenting our analysis of Amazon, focusing especially on environmental impact. And our goal is to examine Amazon's internal and external narratives, identify a key issue stemming from the gap between them, analyze the stakeholders involved, and propose a communication objective to bridge the gap. Here's an overview of today's presentation. We will start with Amazon's beginnings and the story it tells today. Then we will examine internal narratives that challenge that story, identify the key issue of environmental impact, analyze the stakeholders, and finish with a communication objective. Amazon began in 1984 as just an online bookstore, which highlights how small the company's beginnings were compared to what is today. From the very start, Jeff Bezos envisioned something much larger, what he called the everything store. This shows that his vision was always expansive, not limited just to selling books. The core idea was to make shopping simple, cheap, and accessible. This connects directly to convenience, which has always been at the heart of Amazon's brand. Bezos described this focus as customer obsession, meaning low prices, fast delivery, and ease of use. That principle of putting the customer first became the foundation of Amazon's entire story and continues to shape its narrative.
Hi everyone, my name is Marina Wada, and today I'm going to be talking about the story that Amazon is trying to tell. So, I will essentially be covering what Amazon's purpose is, where they started, and how the specific story has led them to the company that we see today. So, Amazon started back in 1994 as actually an online bookstore, which sounds very, very minuscule in comparison to what we see today. But even back then, the founder, Jeff Bezos, his goal was not just to sell books, but he more wanted to make sort of an everything store. This idea was to make shopping as easy, convenient, and affordable as possible for all consumers. And Jeff Bezos really emphasized customer obsession. And by using this mindset of putting the customer first, it has really been the foundation of Amazon's story since day one. If we fast forward to today, Amazon still emphasizes their company about being customer first, but now they try to do it on a more wide scale and global level. They highlight their different services like Amazon Prime, which includes very fast shipping and streaming, all of the technological innovations like Alexa and their delivery drones, and then lastly, AWS or Amazon Web Services, which powers many businesses across the globe and behind the scenes. They also have created a greater emphasis on sustainability with a goal to be net zero carbon by 2040. So now not only is Amazon's story that they're just a retailer, but they are now a company using innovation and scale to make life more simple and convenient for everyone. If you break down Amazon's story, it is really built around three big themes. First being convenience, second being innovation, and third being opportunity. Amazon wants to be seen as the easiest place to shop, the most innovative tech company, and a job creator that gives small businesses a platform to grow. Meanwhile, at the same time, there are some cracks in Amazon's story. To keep everything brief and convenient, because we will dive in more later, there has been a lot of criticism lately over warehouse working conditions. Also, their market dominance has raised questions about fairness and how small sellers may compete. And all of this shipping creates a huge environmental impact. So while Amazon's story sounds very, very positive, it always doesn't match reality. And that's what we're going to dive into in this presentation.
Hi there, my name is Kaden Thielemeyer, and as she just discussed, Amazon presents itself as a customer-obsessed innovator that makes life easier while creating opportunities that lead on sustainability. But when we look at external narratives, there are clear challenges to that story. These come up most often in three areas: labor conditions, market dominance, and environmental impacts. First, we begin with labor conditions. Amazon's warehouses consistently face scrutiny. A U.S. Senate report in 2024 found that injury rates at Amazon facilities are over 30% higher than the industry average. The report also revealed Amazon ignored its own safety experts who recommended easing productivity quotas because leaders feared it would hurt output. Globally, the company has also faced criticism. In Saudi Arabia, migrant workers recruited to Amazon warehouses reported paying illegal fees and receiving little or no reimbursement despite Amazon's promises. These concerns clash with Amazon's message of opportunity. If fast delivery depends upon unsafe or unfair labor, stakeholders question whether customer obsession comes at too high a human cost. Moving on to market dominance, Amazon markets itself as a platform that empowers entrepreneurs, but critics argue its dominance makes competition unfair. The Institute for Local Self-Reliance reports that third-party sellers pay steep fees and are often disadvantaged by Amazon's algorithms, while Amazon itself sells competing products on the same marketplace. For some sellers, this dependence creates a can't live with them, can't live without them relationship. Amazon provides visibility, but also squeezes margins. This complicates Amazon's opportunity story since many small businesses feel like less like partners and more like competitors trapped on the same platform. Moving on to sustainability, Amazon has pledged a net zero carbon by 2040 and promotes initiatives like electronic delivery vans and reducing packaging. But watchdog groups accuse the company of greenwashing, pointing out overall emissions from logistics and shipping continue to grow despite these programs. Internally, credibility is also an issue. A 2024 survey by Amazon employees for climate justice found only 14% of employees believe leadership seriously considers climate impact in business decisions. This undermines Amazon's green narrative, both externally and internally, raising questions about whether sustainability is a genuine priority or just a branding effort. In sum, while Amazon tells a story of convenience, innovation, and opportunity, external narratives point to major gaps. Unsafe labor conditions challenge its commitment to people, market dominance complicates its role as a champion of small business, and its sustainability promise face skepticism from watchdogs and even employees. These tensions don't erase Amazon's story, but they do show areas where credibility is at risk and where communication strategy will need to bridge the gap between image and reality.
Hello, everyone. On this first slide, I want to focus on the key challenge, the disconnect between the environmental narratives and the actual business practices. In 2019, Amazon made a climate pledge to be net zero carbon by the year 2040. Today, many companies are also emphasizing sustainability in their marketing. They highlight eco-friendly products, carbon neutral pledges, or green initiatives. But often, when we look deeper, those actions don't fully match the promises being made. This is what is currently happening to Amazon. Amazon considers itself to be a global sustainability leader in the world by keeping consumers in mind and the earth at heart. However, the problem with the disconnect is that it matters for a few reasons. First, it creates skepticism. Customers and investors are paying closer attention, and when they feel misled, they lose trust in the brand. Secondly, it slows down genuine progress. If businesses are busy appearing sustainable instead of being sustainable, we miss the opportunity for real environmental impact. This leads into my final point. A lot of critics are saying that Amazon is greenwashing. This puts the company at risk. The negative publicity, the regulatory fines, and the loss of consumer loyalty can all result when there's a gap between words and actions. On the good note, Amazon has quite a few opportunities to fix these issues. For starters, they can invest in new technology. We live in an era where electric trucks exist now, and Amazon can purchase those in order to help the environment. They can also engage with the public and build trust. To be realistic, 2040 seems like it's a long way from now. So the company can communicate with the public to share the changes and the steps they are currently making and show their plans on attaining their climate pledge in the next 25 years. So, overall, the central challenge is not just about protecting the planet, it's about also protecting their credibility, reputation, and long term competitiveness. If we take a look at the right side, we can see some of the statistics on how Amazon is steering away from their goal and what the public reads about and comments on. Some statistics. In 2022, Amazon made 94 million kilograms of plastic packaging in the United States. This is 9.8% higher than the previous year. This is making consumers not believe anything that Amazon is saying in terms of the climate pledge. Also, between the years 2019 to 2022, the air freight emissions grew by 67% and delivery van emissions increased by 190%. Amazon is getting hate for prioritizing speed and growth of the company rather than looking at how they are affecting the environment and not following through with their word. Below are a couple articles that I found that show the criticism Amazon is getting currently based on their pledge. On this next slide, you can see the statistics that make the disconnect even more clear. Based on the reports that were found online, after the pledge was made in 2019, the 2020 report showed 60.64 million metric tons of CO2 emission made. 2021, 71.54 million. 2022, 71.27 million. 2023, 68.82 million. And 2024, 68.25 million. Although the number has gone down in the last 3 years, comparing it to the 2020 report, the number has risen by 8 million metric tons of CO2 that were made. On the left side is an infographic that displays all this information in the form of a visual so that it's easy to look at. People are paying closer attention to the numbers. These statistics matter because they show that customers aren't just passively listening, they're looking for proof. Numbers like these reveal growing demand for transparency, accountability, and measurable results. What's important to notice is that it's no longer enough for businesses to say that they care about the environment. Audiences are comparing what companies promise against the data, and those statistics make the disconnect visible in a way that cannot be ignored. It's up to Amazon now to take the opportunity to fix their reputation and to show an effort towards the environment.
Hello. Next, we will look at the stakeholder analysis for Amazon. We are looking to identify them, understand who they are, prioritize them to get an idea for the key stakeholders, and then plan a way to communicate with them on the issue. In this case, the issue is Amazon's carbon footprint. I'll focus on 3 major stakeholder groups: employees, consumers, regulators, and NGOs. First, employees. Employees are internal stakeholders who are directly connected to Amazon's daily operations through working for Amazon themselves. Employees are impacted by sustainability decisions because greener practices can change workplace processes, affect job stability, and influence just how they perceive working for a company like Amazon. Some employees have already voiced concerns and want Amazon to do more on climate change. Employees have a medium level of power. Individually, they may not affect company policy, but collectively, they can exert influence through unions, strikes, or even turnover if they feel the company is not aligning with their values. With that being said, employees will most likely not be the top priority in terms of communication for the issue. Amazon can engage employees by increasing transparency about sustainability goals, offering green training programs, and empowering them to take part in initiatives that reduce waste and energy use at facilities. Next, consumers. Consumers are all Amazon's customers through each and every one of their storefronts, subscriptions, and anything else Amazon makes revenue off of. Customers care about fast and affordable shipping, but more and more are becoming concerned with the environmental impact. Consumers are vocal about wanting eco-friendly packaging and a more carbon-friendly delivery process. Consumers are high priority stakeholders because their preferences directly shape Amazon's business strategy. A shift in consumer demand towards sustainability could strongly pressure Amazon to accelerate change. Amazon should communicate with consumers by offering sustainable shipping options, adding carbon impact labels to products, and marketing their progress toward net zero goals as much as possible. Lastly, regulators and NGOs. These are external stakeholders that set rules and hold Amazon accountable on environmental standards. Regulators are motivated by public policy goals, while NGOs advocate for stronger corporate responsibility and transparency. Both share the goal of reducing Amazon's carbon footprint. Regulators and NGOs are high-power stakeholders. Regulators can impose fines or laws, while NGOs can influence public opinion and reputation through campaigns. Amazon should take a proactive approach by collaborating with regulators on policy compliance, publishing sustainability reports, and partnering with NGOs on environmental projects. In conclusion, employees, consumers, regulators, and NGOs all have unique but powerful roles in shaping how Amazon addresses its carbon footprint. By analyzing these stakeholders through the four-step model, Amazon can engage them more effectively and make meaningful progress towards sustainability.
Hi, I will bridge the gap between Amazon's environmental commitments with stakeholders' expectations by displaying a communication objective. We identify the stakeholders as the consumers, employees, and regulators slash NGOs, NGOs being the national government organization. First, we will touch on the consumers. Because Amazon consumers demand for environmentally friendly practices, Amazon tries to meet consumers' environmental demand by frustration-free packaging. This was introduced by Amazon to allow for better customer experience and reduce packaging waste. The program uses packing materials that are 100% recyclable. Also, Amazon introduced the Climate Pledge friendly labels. This was a program make it simpler for people to shop for sustainable products. While shopping, you can look for products that have a green leaf and are labeled sustainable feature. The criticism being from consumers is these rollouts from Amazon are just not enough. Reports are still showing large amounts of waste and carbon. As this continues, this leads to consumers losing faith in Amazon. So Amazon will need to be transparent in proving that customer obsession also includes responding to demand for eco-friendly practices. Display that they are committed to the goal by transparent reporting on progress. So with carbon footprint being a key issue for Amazon employees, the employees signed a letter back in 2019 pushing leadership to take a stronger action on climate change. That letter led to Amazon co-funding the Climate Pledge. Employees ultimately wanted pride in working for a responsible company, so Amazon aligned their future goals with the employees' values. So Amazon pledged to be net zero carbon across their business by 2040. 100% of electricity consumed by Amazon was matched with renewable energy sources in 2024 for the second consecutive year. $2 billion investments through the Climate Pledge Fund to support the development of sustainable technologies. 560 companies have joined Amazon in signing the Climate Pledge, committing to reach net zero carbon emission by 2040. Some of these companies include Microsoft, IBM, Best Buy, Mercedes-Benz. They've all joined the pledge. So to bridge the gap for employees, this means demonstrating that Amazon is not only a leader in innovation, but also a responsible company that can be proud to work for. So a company that uses effective management strategies to reduce environmental harm and build a sustainable future. In turn, this can show Amazon's willingness to respond to their concerns. Shifting, so we'll shift over to regulators and NGOs. To bridge the gap, Amazon publishes yearly sustainability report, detailing carbon footprint, energy use, and progress towards their goals. It's located on the webpage for everyone to view. The concern is Amazon pledged to reach net zero carbon by 2040. Regulators are questioning whether the internal milestones are clear and achievable. Amazon reported back in 2021, the carbon footprint actually rose before beginning to decline. So that raised doubts about the progress, the speed, and reliability of their plan. So Amazon communication objective is to show measurable action, data, as well as partnerships to eliminate any doubt. Amazon, they partner with a lot of NGOs, one being the Nature Conservancy. They partner with the Nature Conservancy on reforestation, biodiversity projects. They worked with that group um, globally, so they had a few projects in Brazil, as well as locally, domestic here. Had a project in Ohio. A few concerns is Amazon is not partnering enough, and they're not investing enough in NGOs to make a change to clear up a lot of the carbon waste. So communicating with the NGOs and partnership and showing the willingness to partner with these NGOs can create can get that bridge. By linking Amazon principles of innovation, operational experience, and long-term thinking and environmental responsibility, we create a unified narrative. Amazon's success depends not only on innovation for growth, but also for innovation for sustainability. Thank you.